Hello, beautiful soul. Today I am so excited to continue to share my journey of preparing to open up the portal for conscious conception later this month on our 2-year when we fell in love anniversary. And so I've decided this month, as I'm preparing, to really focus on cultivating my intuition, which is so important, ladies, throughout our whole life, but especially preparing for these big moments, preparing for manifesting our soulmate. So important to be led by our intuition. Preparing for conception, allow our intuition to guide us, and then obviously definitely into pregnancy and birth and beyond, and motherhood. And so I decided every morning I'm gonna do a guided meditation around connecting to my spirit baby, the spirit, the soul of the baby that is going to enter my womb space. So I started that yesterday morning on the 1st, September 1st. And I just found a video on YouTube. It was about 10 minutes long, and it guided me through this visualization of imagining this umbilical cord coming out from me, this energetic cord going up into the cosmos and connecting to the soul of my baby, my spirit baby, and then receiving a message. And when I saw my spirit baby, this is the image that came to mind. It was a baby sitting in literally lotus style, like hands like this, legs crossed, a little Buddha baby. And it had this very wise energy. And so I asked the baby, my spirit baby, for a message. And the message was continue to look within, to spend time deep inside yourself. Everything that you have in need is inside. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep looking inward. So that was really beautiful and really powerful. And I felt very reassured that, okay, this decision every day to meditate, to connect to the spirit of the baby, is I'm on the right path. And then, crazy thing, I told Zohar, my husband, that night about this beautiful moment I had today, connecting to the spirit of our baby and it sharing this message. And he said, this is so crazy, the synchronicity. When he was showering that morning, which was around the time I was doing this meditation, that the spirit of our baby came to him in the shower, and he received the message that our baby is a boy. And this whole time I've been saying it's a girl, because my vision has been originally I wanted a boy first, because I feel having a girl will be the ultimate healing moment for me, the ultimate generational healing moment for me, having experienced sexual trauma as a young child. To heal truly is to have a daughter, right? And that felt, whoa, I need to prepare for that. Let me start with a boy, and then the ultimate generational healing will be with my girl. But then when I started learning more about birth, I'm like, oh my God, it would be so amazing to have a girl first, so that she could be present at the birth of our son, so that she can be imprinted with this blissful birth, that birth is natural, birth is safe, birth is just normal and simple and can be done at home. But it's so funny, because every time Zohar has referenced our firstborn child, he always uses the pronoun he. And then the spirit baby came to him and essentially told him, tell mom I'm a boy. And so now I'm opening up to the idea of a boy first. So we'll see right? I want to surrender the preference or focusing too much on the gender, right? Like essentially it's not important in the grand scheme of things, and to just continue to connect to the essence, the soul. And then this morning I did the meditation again, and the message that came through was, I inquired about this, being a boy versus a girl. I'm like, what about a girl coming first? What about that possibility? And this spirit baby said, there is a divine plan in place, and you are invited to trust it, and just surrender to it. We have a plan, and then God has a greater plan. And day one, another question that I had for the spirit baby was, can you tell me where we're going to end up living in Tennessee? Can you let me know that, please? Because I really want to know. And the message was to surrender the need to know, and to delight in the uncertainty, and to know that we are going to be guided one little synchronicity and nudge along the way. Even today, we had a call with a woman that I saw, just happened to synchronistically see on Facebook when we were feeling into Tennessee, that she just bought 16 acres of land, and there's a couple of families that all have babies that are living together, and they're currently developing this intentional conscious community. And so we had a call with her today, which was so fun to hear her whole journey. She lived at an intentional community in Costa Rica, and she has a farm there, but her intuition guided her to the US, and they road tripped all over the US and landed in Tennessee for very similar reasons that we're called to Tennessee. And so it was so amazing to hear her and see her surrounded by her kids running around on the land, and her vision that she's had for 20 years literally coming to fruition. So that's, the message was just delight in the uncertainty, in the unknown, in the pure amazingness of getting to watch the unfolding as it happens, without getting too much in our head, trying to figure out, trying to plan, because again, we have a plan and God has a greater plan. And the other message that came through this morning was a name of the baby, which I talked to Zora about it. I'm like, how do you feel about this name? I don't know if it's his name, but it's the name that popped into my head. And the energy of this spirit is very powerful, very powerful. And when I looked up the meaning of the name, it's literally, supposedly, in Hebrew, which is Zohar's native language, it means strong and powerful. So I was like, whoa. But Zohar was kind of neutral on the name, and so we'll see if it ends up landing or not. I'm gonna keep it a secret for now. But it's been so fun to carve out time each morning to go deep inside myself, to be guided, to connect to my spirit, maybe, and just to tune more and more into my intuition and let life guide me. Also, another very impactful experience I had yesterday was I was driving for Uber, which is what I do sometimes for some extra money, and it was the last ride of my shift, and then I was gonna head home, and I pull into this apartment complex, and I'm waiting, and all of a sudden I see a mom, and on each side of her is a daughter and a son, maybe 8 years old and 10 years old, and they're both holding her. And for a second, I was confused because of the way that they were walking. I was thinking, is she blind? Are her children walking her to the car so intentionally because she's blind? And then she puts the kids in the car and she leaves to go get one more son. He's maybe 12, and she asks me if he can sit in the front, and I say sure. So the four of them get in the car, and I start hearing these noises that these children are making, and I start noticing some of their behaviors, right? The one in the back is rocking, and then the girl is just making these strange noises, and then all of a sudden the oldest boy in the front starts going like shoo, 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 like really intensely, and instantly I know that they all have autism, but pretty severe autism, right? There's a spectrum. I used to work with children with autism. I would go into their homes and help them develop their social skills and whatever they needed. So it's easy for me to recognize when I see it. They all had severe autism. And I could feel my nervous system activated just because of there was a lot of energy in the car. We're all in a very small space, and the boy is doing this very strange, kind of unpredictable movements. Every 30 seconds he's doing this movement and breathing really deep. And so I was just having to relax my nervous system and regulate myself and hope to co-regulate the whole car. And then we're in line forever because we're at this middle school and all the parents are picking up their kids at the same time. And eventually we get to the front, and I'm about to have to turn into the school, and I'm gonna get trapped in this crazy traffic. And she says, oh, don't worry, we'll hop out here. So she gets out her kids, and I just pause and watch her, and the girl is maybe 8 years old, and she's really having to carry the girl while she grabs the boy, and her oldest son behind her is jumping, and she's not moving because she's doing everything she can to gather these children who just are having a really hard time functioning. And when I came home and told Zohar about it and I started telling the story, I cried, just imagining being in that mom's shoes. And she was a Mexican mom, so right? Family is everything. Like, she adores those kids, would do anything for those kids. But I'm just imagining getting them all to bed, feeding them, getting them dressed, trying to get them anywhere, and they're, pretty nonverbal, pretty just having a really hard time because obviously their brain isn't fully functioning. And it really got me thinking. It opened my mind to something that I was completely closed off to, which was doing a scan during pregnancy where you just make sure that the baby is healthy. And why I had been against ultrasounds is because there's research on them that shows that they're not good. They're not healthy for the baby. And I do think that they do way too many ultrasounds. And I definitely don't want to know the gender of the baby until the moment of birth, because what a delightful, rare moment of pure surprise of, is it a boy, is it a girl, what is it? However, when I started doing more research, they can just draw your blood and they can find out a bunch of information about the baby. And it's actually in alignment with a philosophy, a principle that Zohar taught me, which is trust but verify, which I love. And so it's the same reason why I got my own blood work when preparing for conception. I trust that I'm healthy, but I want to verify. I want to make sure, right? I want to give my body and this baby the best possible environment to thrive. And Zohar, he's gonna go to the dentist soon. And even though he brushes his teeth 4 to 5 times a day, flosses 4 to 5 times a day, eats the cleanest of anyone that I know, he's still gonna get an x-ray because he knows that his mouth hygiene is literally so on point. But just to verify, just to make sure, And the same reason why I want him to get blood work done once at least a decade, just to make sure. So why was I approaching pregnancy in this just trust, no verify, no verification? Because for us, we feel that if you don't have a fully functioning brain, you're not really living life to the absolute fullest. That's our perspective. And so we would want to know as soon as possible if the baby is not just perfectly healthy in every way. And so that's really shifted my perspective. And I feel it was this intuitive nudge from the universe of trust but verify. And so I'm just listening to the messages, the synchronicities, what's showing up in my reality, being more and more open-minded to putting aside my own thoughts and beliefs and what I think is right, and just really being open to what would be best for our family. I can't imagine, raising a child with special needs. Like, I give my hat off to moms who do that. They dedicate their whole life to that. And I just read somewhere that it takes 10 years off of your lifespan of caring for someone who is ill, because it's so depleting, it's so draining. And yeah, so I just want to make sure we want to trust but verify that everything's healthy, I'm healthy, the baby's healthy, so that I can have peace of mind. And time is of the essence for our biological clock. Even though we can get pregnant all the way into our 40s, there's still some window, depending on how many kids we want to have. We're not sure, maybe 2, maybe more, I don't know, we'll see. So just surrendering the journey over to spirit. So those are some of the things I'm doing. I'm also reading this amazing book called The Portal by the co-founder of the Free Birth Society. It is about her 9th blissful, orgasmic, pain-free birth after having a very long, very hard, very excruciating 8th birth. And she shares the codes, the things that shifted for her, that she realized about how birth can be this beautiful, blissful, even orgasmic experience. How amazing. Like, how do you feel when you hear me say that? Does your mind instantly close and shut down and push that hard? Or do you allow yourself to be open even to considering that possibility? Not attached to it, but just, hey, I'm open to that possibility. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. But if you close yourself off to things, then they can't get to you. So that's my encouragement. So I'm doing, morning meditation and reading this book, obviously taking good care of my body. And then I want to start journaling all the messages that I'm getting from our spirit baby. So I'll start doing that today. But yeah, I hope this was helpful and inspiring, and maybe gave you some different perspective than what you had considered before. I'm so curious where you're at in your love story. Comment below. And I also have a couple of spots available for private coaching. Any ladies who are desiring support around finding, manifesting true love, self-love, self-discovery, or preparing for conscious conception, I am here. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Sacred Union Within, and we'll schedule a initial consultation. It's a gift from me to you. So have a beautiful, blessed day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.